It cemented my gratitude for life or the ability to get to be here. And I say that to all people that kind of push their health to the side. You get to take action. You don't have to, but you get to.
Welcome to the Midlife Reinvention podcast. I'm your host, Kavita, and the founder of Power Purpose Play, a global community of women in midlife. I'm here to tell you that it's your time now to rediscover what has always been inside of you and bring that out into the world. If you're wondering what's next, but don't know quite what that is, or if you feel a twinge in your heart telling you that you have so much more to do and so much more to offer, you're in the right place. Ask yourself, if not now, when? Do you want to leave your job, start your own business, take control of your health, reignite the passion in your marriage, write that book, or at least that first chapter? Transitions like this can be daunting. But through listening to my story and interviews with incredible women every week, I hope to inspire you to take action. I rediscovered myself after the age of 50, and I know you can too. It's my time now to help you do just that. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Midlife Reinvention. I'm your host, Kavita, the founder of Power Purpose Play. And I'm so pleased you're here. Every week I interview incredible women who have something to share from their life story about how we can make this next chapter in our lives the best chapter ever, which is really the intent of Power Purpose Play. This week is absolutely no exception, as I'm so pleased to be speaking with Janet Omstead today. Janet is a play expert. She's an author and she's an executive health coach who's on a mission to reignite people's passion for play, to help fight lifestyle-related disease while improving their quality of life as they age. For over 20 years, Janet has helped clients achieve a healthy balance through play. Janet believes that there is no one-size-fits-all health and wellness outcomes. Instead, they need to be sustainable, supportive, and fun, especially now with the new challenges that we're all facing. So welcome to the podcast, Janet. I'm so pleased to have you here, and such a pleasure to speak with you today.
Thanks so much for having me, Kavita. I'm excited to be here and I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Yes, we just were talking about how the universe kind of put us together. So that's just great.
Yes, the play universe.
The play universe, yes. So
I love it.
Yeah, Janet, I really love your passion for helping people embrace life and health and by putting play back into our lives. And I was reading your book, and Janet's book is called The Playbook, which is very appropriate, How to Get in the Habit of Good Health. And by the way, I love your acronym for play, which is please look after yourself. That's really, really incredible. But there's one of the things that you say in the book, which I'll quote here. You say that if we invest in our well-being consistently throughout our lives, our health will also most likely be there for us to enjoy a good quality of life as we age. So just on that note, in terms of what would you say are some of the key sustainable what are the keys to sustainable health as we age? And especially for women, as we're approaching midlife, how can we ensure that this is the best stage for the best part of our life?
That's a really good question. I get asked that a lot. And I think by the time people come to see me for help, they're really looking for the sustainable piece. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of mixed messages in the industry I'm in about what is health and how you get there. And it drives me a little crazy sometimes because it's very unattainable and unrealistic for people. So when you're looking at keys to sustainable health, they absolutely have to include nutrition, mm-hmm. exercise, or as I like to call play, and managing stress, mostly through better sleep, really. But stress in itself is its own category. And there's a fourth one, Kavita.
Yes.
Bridgerton or Outlander. Those are good ones too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just started watching Bridgerton. I can relate to that. Yes.
You have to have a little spice in life. That's all I'm saying. Anyway,
yeah, gotcha.
being in midlife, I think it's the best chapter of our lives because it's never too late to try something new. Mm-hmm. And I just was talking to another coach a couple of weeks ago about the importance that it's okay to change your mind. Everybody's thinking, what worked for me in high school has got to work now, and it's got to be hard, and it's got to be painful and it's got to be uncomfortable. But I don't believe that's true. I think there are absolutely, you can try anything. And if it doesn't work, try something else. And I really encourage people to tap into what they love to do as a kid. When you find more things that are fun and fewer things that suck, you want to show up, right? And all of a sudden you're tapping into the most powerful thing and emotion we have, which is joy. Life is hard right now and people need joy and fun, and you get that through play. So we're at an age, midlife. You're young enough to travel, and the more you move now, the more sustainable you make your habits now. As you go into your future, the more in control of your health you'll be.
So start early, right? I mean, start and do it daily, or do it, make it a habit almost, right?
Yeah. Find the habits in those nutrition and exercise and managing stress that work together, and they work for you, not against you. It doesn't really have to be hard. You just have to find what works and stick with it, right? Yes. People all of a sudden think, oh, that's not working, so I'm going to throw in the towel. Although I commend people for trying new things, as I said, I think it's really important to stick to something and see the results, because you will get results. I mean, it may be boring, but just practicing small habits consistently, it's liberating and it works. It works.
Absolutely. I was reading also in that section, you talk a little bit about functional movements as well. And I think that's very important to talk about as we age, because there's different types of movements. And I don't know if you want to get into that, but maybe a little blurb on what functional movements are.
Yeah. Did you know what they were when you saw that? Had you heard of that?
Well, is it strength training? Yes.
Yeah. Our bodies are made to move and made to function. And a lot of people think that they have to do that in a gym. And functional movements are the things that you use every day. So you squat. Okay. People go to the gym and you see them squatting. Well, what the heck are they doing that for? For fun? Well, no, it's a functional movement. Yes, it should be fun, but it's a functional movement to help you get up and down out of a chair, or on and off a toilet, or in and out of bed. You need to squat, and you need to lunge, because you're going to use stairs as you age. Like, we want to keep practicing those movements that are part of our functionality of everyday life. You push a golf cart or a shopping cart, or you push a door open. So that's why you need push exercises. And pulling. If you're a gardener, you're pulling things out of the garden, out of the weeds, out of the ground. You need pulling muscles. Or if you're pulling something up above your head and you're pulling it down, that's why you need pull movements. And the last one is rotation. So reaching behind you to get your seatbelt. Yes. Or scooping down behind you to pick something up off the ground. Those are rotational movements. So push, pull, squat, rotation. Really, as we age, we need to keep practicing those. You don't have to do it every day. The Canadian Fitness Association recommends at least twice a week, meeting those 4 movement patterns to keep your quality of life.
Especially if you're intentional with them. Even if you're doing gardening or if you're like in the moment, and if you're intentional about it, and you actually maybe even like suck in your tummy, or you're concerned about, you think about it and you make it part of your day. So I think those are really great points.
Yeah. The mind muscle connection is what it's called, when you're actually thinking about the muscles you're using and why you're using them. And so many people go through the motions and have no idea why. And that's why you need those muscles to continue to have a great quality of life.
Right.
And even more now with people sitting so much.
Oh yeah.
For posture.
Yeah. Take a break from the Zoom calls, right?
Yeah. I'm working with a corporate group right now, and we do like a lunch and learn. And one of the lunch and learns was, what's the most, I'll ask you this. What is the most overlooked health habit that people really, like I say, overlook? What is the thing that people ignore the most in their healthy daily habits?
Just getting up and moving, or like they're always sitting, right? And you're always sitting at meetings, or you're now we're staring at the Zoom at the computer. So it's just, it's just movement,
it's
right?
Posture.
Posture.
It's posture.
Right. Posture.
And there's a super simple test people can do. If you're listening to this and you're walking, or you're listening to this and you're sitting, think about where your ears are in alignment with your shoulders, and your shoulders in alignment with your hips, and your hips in line with your knees, and your knees in line with your ankles. So especially when you're sitting, people are rounded forward quite a bit. So make sure your computer's at a level where you can see the screen at your eye. Or if you're not at a computer and you want to just try this on a random wall when you're walking outside, go stand against a wall and see if your shoulders and your butt and your heels can be against the wall. That is proper posture. And it really matters the most because it helps you open your airway and it helps you breathe. And the deeper your breath, the more oxygen you get and the better the circulation and the sharper your brain. Yeah.
Simple things like that, they make so many advantages to even simple things. That's fantastic. That's really great. I'm just going to switch gears a little bit, Janet, and you've gone on this journey, and I don't know if you can tell me, how you started on this journey of play. You had described something that you had experienced, kind of a near-death experience. And would you be able to share what that happened and how did that change your outlook on life?
Yeah, it really did. I come by play quite naturally. I've always loved to play. I didn't realize it was a superpower until I recognized that the world can be your playground. The world right outside your door is good enough or even better than any other place you can move your body and feel truly alive. And I've always loved health. I've always been very passionate about moving my body because it makes me feel good. I think it's great for my mental health and my physical health. And when I was 24, 6 weeks before I got married, I was rushed to emergency surgery with ruptured ovarian cyst. So if anybody's ever suffered from those, they're really painful. And I went through them a lot as a young woman, but this one was really different. And I was on a stag-out weekend with my girlfriends. They threw me a surprise. It was 6 weeks before my wedding. And we were up north of Toronto. And this is in the early 90s, right? So no cell phones, blah, blah, blah. Back in the day. Anyway, luckily my girlfriends recognized I was in trouble and they drove me to Toronto to our local hospital, my family's home. And I was rushed into surgery. I didn't realize I was bleeding internally. So I could have died.
Wow.
And when you're 24, they were rolling me into surgery. And I kind of only remember the doctor saying to me, so we'll really try and save your ovary. And I was thinking to myself, that's bad, right? Like, this isn't good. And he said, well, right now we're just trying to save your life.
Oh my God.
So that was one. And then I actually have had a couple other near brushes with death, being in a plane coming back. We were on vacation as a family in August of 2005. We were flying home from the Caribbean through what we didn't recognize or realize at the time was Hurricane Katrina. And we were flying at night and our plane got hit by lightning. And I don't know if you've ever been in a plane that's been hit by lightning. I don't wish it on anybody because you think, well, the plane goes dark and it drops, and with your young children. I mean, I've been through turbulence before, but nothing like that. And then it happened again. And the pilot didn't say anything. And I really didn't know if we would live or die. I really thought that was the end, but we lived. So then I got off that plane and kissed the ground. And then 2 short years later, our family was driving to Thanksgiving with our family outside of Toronto again. And we were hit head on in a 7-car chain reaction accident. And my children were 7 and 10 at the time. We were the last car that was hit. And I when you're in an accident like that, everything really happens so fast. And there was a lot of smoke. I thought the car was on fire. It was actually the airbag. And I was trying to get out of the door on my side that's what you want to do. You want to get out, which is actually not the right thing to do, but you want to get out. I yelled to make sure my kids were alive and breathing, but we couldn't get out of the car. We had to climb through the driver's side window. We were the last car and realized that 2 women had been killed in that accident, and we walked away. And gosh, I have to say it cemented my gratitude for life, or the ability to get to be here. And I say that to all people that kind of push their health to the side. You get to take action. You don't have to, but you get to. And I don't know if you know someone who's struggling with their health or maybe have some bad news about their health. It seems to happen a lot these days. And really, it just gives you perspective and on what's really important and what truly matters. And to the people who choose to change, that's who I help, because change is possible and life is worth playing for.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Thanks for sharing, Janet. I can't imagine. I mean, not one or two, but you had three major things that happened to you that really altered, I would believe, the course of your outlook on life. And the way you describe it is it's shocking, firstly, but luckily you survived and your family survived, and that's, thank goodness for that. And but one of the things is that I think you made a change as a result of these experiences. And I often question why people sometimes wait until there's a major event in their life or a major trigger to realize that change needs to be made. And I think part of what you're doing is to stress to people that you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait till that car accident or the plane crash or whatever until you can reverse your mindset and make a change. So I don't know if you want to maybe talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. For some who are lucky enough and they haven't been affected by a health scare or a major event and they're kind of asleep at the wheel, they're going through the motions of life. Let's face it, Kavita, women are busy. Mm-hmm. We are busy people. We get into a routine and we tend to look after everyone else first mm-hmm. instead of ourselves. I think I hear that a lot in the people I talk mm-hmm. to. And they maybe wake up in midlife and they don't know how they got here. Like asleep at the wheel, yes. right? Or driving down a street. Someone in your other podcast said you're driving along and you get to where you're going and you have no idea how you got there. Yes. I think it's way more common than people want to admit, mm-hmm. but it's true. Mm-hmm. And so they're juggling women midlife. You're juggling the possibility of retirement and you're probably in or going through or been through menopause. And so you've gained some weight and maybe you've had a change in your relationship or a new marriage or you've quit your job and you have aging parents and your kids are mm-hmm. leaving home and
so much,
all of a sudden,
right?
They have this aha, right? Aha. Oh God, mm-hmm. this is not, I don't think I want to be like this anymore. So in my case, I had a bunch of aha moments, right? So because I see so much of this and women don't really know where to start, I actually encourage a reverse mindset. So the secret really is, Kavita, mm-hmm. it's small, consistent changes over time. That's what works versus the majority of what people do. And they look for that quick fix. 10 days to drop 50 pounds and get cut like this, or eat vegan for the rest of your life and you'll be great. These are not sustainable things. Right. And that's what I really help people tap into. Mm-hmm. You have to find something that's sustainable, that you can show up every day and feel the best version of yourself without going to extremes. Mm-hmm. And that it will last. Because think of it like this, small changes over time are like compound interest in your investment account. Mm-hmm. It all adds up mm-hmm. and really slow and steady wins the race.
You talk about something, and just on that note, you talk about something called the bare ass minimum.
Oh yeah. I learned that from one of my coaches.
Bam, right?
Bam. Yes.
That's similar to what you were just saying, I think, right? It's what can you, or is it?
Hi, my friend. Kavita here. Do you often feel blocked from moving forward? We all feel that way at times. These are referred to as energy blocks. I've created a short, actionable PDF guide to help you release your negative energy blocks. Click the link in the description to download it now for free. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Yes. Well, BAM stands for bare ass minimum. Yeah. And the bare ass minimum, I don't want people to underscore the importance of these things that are the 3 pillars of health, except rather than think it's this major mountain to climb, what is your bare ass minimum? So for example, your bare ass minimum for the time you have. So we need 20 minutes a day, really, if we're going to look at our health paradigm. Mm-hmm. You need 20 minutes of heart pumping movement a day for your health. Okay. You don't need an hour. That's how trainers get paid. Little tip there. People think they need an hour. No, you don't. You need 20 minutes a day. And all movement matters. Mm-hmm. So the bare ass minimum in your day, 20 minutes, you can break it up. It could be 4 times 5 minutes or 2 times mm-hmm. 11 minutes. It's really 22 minutes a day if you do the math right, but I'm just keeping it simple. I like to keep things simple. So 20 minutes a day, break it up in any movement you want. And it doesn't have to be in the gym. Mm-hmm. And so if your bare ass minimum, if you can commit to consistently, if it's 1 minute That's okay.
Better than nothing.
Better than nothing.
Yes.
And if 1 minute feels good, commit to that. Show up every day. And then next week, do 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then the week after, do 3. And work your way up and own it, right? Don't go, oh, it's all I did. Yeah, you did it. And oh, one of my mentors, she likes to call it the ta-da list rather than your to-do list. Like, ta-da, I did my minutes. Or I ate my vegetable, right? Can you add? What can you add? And how can you do it? That it doesn't feel like this big.
Those are great points, really great points. I like the acronyms. They really stick in your head that way when you have those acronyms. But you kind of touched a little bit on something that I wanted to discuss is, as women, especially, and we're in midlife, you mentioned we have so much going on in our lives. Like, and we're usually, as you said, our whole life we've looked after probably everybody else, with ourselves coming last. But one of the reasons that maybe we don't take action in doing what we really want to do in our lives is because we have those limiting beliefs in ourselves. We don't believe in ourselves. We have the inner critics. We have imposter syndrome that is telling us, I'm not good enough, or who am I to do this? And I think that can relate to also your health as well as just generally in life. And if you can share with us some of maybe the obstacles you faced, and how did you get over them? And what would you recommend for women to get over this?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question. I think a lot of people, it's self-doubt. That's the biggest limiting belief there is. And in my own self-doubt, I think, oh gosh, are people really interested in what I think my superpower is when it comes to coaching and play? So here's what I struggle with, and the limiting beliefs too, like I touched on before. I'm in the health industry. I'm a health coach. And in the industry I've come from, that pushing unrealistic expectations and failing and the fads and everything, I think it's much, much deeper than that. And the obstacles really start fundamentally with the habit-based change psychology and helping people dig in deeper into that self-doubt or into their why. When I work with clients, one of the first things I do is help them with their vision. What is your vision? How do you want to be when you age? What do you want to do? What does that look like? How's it going to feel? Not what society is telling them. That's a big obstacle for people. And being an entrepreneur, you know how it is. It can be lonely. So finding the right tribe to be with, it's been a struggle, but I'm really getting there. And I've tried a lot of things and I've come over a lot of obstacles. I'm still here. I'm still living, and you only get one life. So I think that's what I'm here on earth to do, is to help people open their eyes and play a little more. And like I do in my one-on-one coaching or my group or with my corporate coaching, taken a long time to evolve. And I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that, because I think you have to take risks to find the right thing that really settles with you. And when you do, it's really wonderful. The obstacles will be there, but you can get over them.
Yeah. And I think what you said about comparisons, I think we do that a lot, especially when it comes to your physical appearance, perhaps, right? It's like, oh my goodness, I have to look like so-and-so that's on YouTube or on social media. And that probably limits us as well, because you think, oh, well, what's the point? Because I need to lose 30 pounds and I'm never going to do it. And so that you get into that negative spiral. So I think as women, we have to, like you said, vision what you really want and be realistic probably as well, with that realism as to what you can get.
I think the sky's the limit. And I'm still alive to tell you that. I really do believe there are no limits. I think the approach has to be changed. The mindset has to be changed into dream big and really break it down into simple things that you're going to stick with, and you will get there. Sure. Hey, I'm grateful I get to help people lose 30 pounds. I do, but it isn't going to be by the end of next month.
Yeah.
And the other piece is something called your why. What is your why? What is it? See, people will say, oh, I want to lose 30 pounds, or I want to we'll use 30 pounds for now. And well, why? Well, because of this. And if you break that why question down 5 times, you really will get to the root cause. I had one gentleman I was working with who wanted to lose 50 pounds, and we did that why exercise together. And he came back to me and he said, my why is actually because I want to be able to get on the floor with my grandkids. And when you know that driving force, it makes it so much easier to show up than hoping tomorrow you'll wake up and everything will be all right.
And you can apply that to any aspect of your life, not just exercise.
Oh, for sure. That was created by the Toyota Corporation.
Yeah.
For their production line or something, but it really works. You're right, across all disciplines.
That's great. We talked a little bit about your definition of play. Please look after yourself. And we talked about outside of the gym as well. Do you have some tips about, maybe some practical tips about how you can take the gym, outside of the gym and bring that into your life, play into your life? Just maybe a couple. I know you talked about a few of them, but.
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing is schedule it in your calendar. Carve the time. And if it's only 10 minutes, and can you go outside for that time? That's really important. But from the 3 pillars I spoke about earlier, try not to do everything at once, pick one thing. So tip number 1, carve out time for exercise. Tip number 2, please make it fun. Make it fun. If it's fun, you're going to show up. And what's the point of doing something if it isn't fun and you reach your BAM, right?
Yeah.
Like can you walk to the stop sign? Make gamify it. When it comes to nutrition, can you, like I said, add a vegetable at lunch or drink an extra glass of water a day? Or with stress management, can you go to bed 5 minutes earlier? Ooh, imagine. Or leave your device downstairs. Little things, right? And this is a huge one, a big tip. Try and imagine or think about, really, actually, one of the other exercises I have people do, this is all on my website, by the way, and they're downloadable from if you go on the playbook, Janet Omstead, the playbook, I have download assessment sheets. And this one is where people say, I don't have the time, and I get that. But if you look at your whole day as an opportunity to play, you will find time, and that they're not hard or anything. But when is your energy the highest? Some people are morning people. And I have some clients that are like, are you kidding me? I can't get out of bed. My energy is highest at 11 at night. So work with your natural body. Don't try and fight. Don't try and fight it or put a square peg in a round hole. Yeah. Work with what you've got.
It's interesting. Yeah. It's interesting to say that because like my husband and I, for example, are completely opposite in that I am a morning person and I'm just my best in the morning. I wake up early, I sleep early. He is a night person and he'll be up and he'll work out at like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, I don't know how you can do that. But you're right. I mean, you have to listen to your body and see what works for you. So no one size fits all kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to touch on a little bit about, we talked a little bit earlier about the mind-body connection. And you say that play is medicine for the whole body. And I completely believe that. And that's one of the reasons I put play in Power Purpose Play. And that's why we got connected as well. But so important, I believe, to have that connection. And how does one create that connection in their life? Because I believe it's so important. Maybe you can speak to this mind-body connection.
Yeah, the mind-body connection is super powerful. Yeah, we talked on earlier about when you're moving your body, having that mind-body connection. And why I really use play as the catalyst for that mind-body connection is because when you start to move your body in whatever way works for you, you are going to start to feel better. It releases all sorts of positive endorphins. Those are the happy hormones, right? And once you start to feel better, you'll want to eat better. You just will naturally, your body will start to go, I actually maybe not want that right now. This really appeals to me. Or give yourself permission to try something new in the food category that's going to help your body as you age. And then once you start to eat better, so you're feeling better, you're eating better, you're able to manage things better. I'm not going to say your stress isn't going to go away. This is why habit-based change psychology is so powerful, because we look at whole health. It's not just how you look. It is how you feel. It is how you show up in the world. It is your relationships. It's your connection and your community. And all of those pieces come together for deep health. And there's nothing more powerful than that positive spiral, that catalyst of play that really sets the chain reaction off. And it's incredible.
Well, I mean, I can relate. The minute if I'm feeling bad or I'm not feeling good about myself, and maybe I had a chocolate cake the night before, and I was the next day I'm feeling bad about myself. If I do exercise, or lately we've been going for walks because it's been so nice out, it just changes your whole perspective, and you feel, especially I would say, like if you can get out in nature and really connect with nature, and it just, for me, it's also that mind body means also spiritual in a way, and that getting connected to who you are, what do you really want in life, especially now. It's so important. I mean, we've been going through this last year has been so incredibly difficult. And to be able to sit back and say, you know, what do I really want from this life moving forward? And that's why I wanted to speak to you today, because health is so important, and incorporating play, whether that means being in the moment, having gratitude for what you have, like you mentioned. I think for me, that's the definition of play and having that mindset. We haven't really talked much about nutrition, but I know that maybe you can talk a little bit about that, and where does that fit in? Because I know that no matter how much you work out, like I work out a lot, but I think it's 80% nutrition, is it? Or is it? Maybe you can talk a little about the importance of nutrition and some tips perhaps on what we can do as we age.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Exercise is marketed wrong. Exercise is marketed as the key to lose weight. And I hate to break it to all the people that are listening here. Exercise is only a small, small, small piece. Exercise is for the mind, body, the whole catalyst for your heart and your muscles. And like, please don't stop exercising. But nutrition is the trump card in this entire piece of the puzzle. Because when you fuel your body for the ways you want to play and the things you want to show up and do, it is really, it's the key factor. And I think you brought up a good point that I help people with. And that is, sure, you're going to eat cake. Please eat cake. Like, life is too short. Come on. You're talking to someone who almost died 3 times. Eat the cake and enjoy it. Do you need to eat it all? I don't know. Do you? Doesn't matter. Like, don't judge yourself. Please don't be so hard on yourself. It's not worth it. As long as it's part of a balanced, holistic approach. And what do I mean by that? Well, the first thing I want you to do for me today, try this, Kavita, and everybody listening. This today, when you're listening to this, I want you to take the word bad out of your vocabulary. Oh, I'm so bad. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, that food is bad.
Yes.
No. Please replace it. Replace it with, and also take the word should. I should work out, and I should eat better, and I should. No, you get to eat that cake, and you get to move your body, and you get to go to bed 5 minutes earlier. You get to do those things. And once you start to look at, especially with the nutrition piece, you get to eat, like if you choose to, the whole version of the food rather than the processed version of that food. How can you make it just a little bit better? Okay, so French fries, not the greatest choice. Could you have a potato instead?
Yeah.
Like, just small things. It doesn't have to be this massive sweeping change of unattainable, unrealistic, right? Find the things that make you feel good and do more of that. Eating, sleeping, and playing.
So you get to, and take out the should.
Yes. And you're not bad. And you're not bad. You're actually great.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I don't think you have to take out everything that you love. I mean, I love certain things that probably I could not have in my life. Like, I love a glass of wine. I'll take that. But I think if you do it all in moderation and you have a balanced approach, I completely agree with you. And I think that's a really great message for people to take forward in this. That's so great. I think this was just wonderful. Is there any other things that you want to talk about, or any messages that you want to share with the audience? Play and the importance of it, especially in midlife and beyond. Anything that maybe we haven't covered?
I guess really the message is show up as the best version of yourself more consistently. Find something you love and stick to it. And there is one other piece. There are really cool tools. Like, the industry has come a long way, the health industry, with Fitbits, and if that jazzes you, great, use them. Fitbits or Apple Watches, or I use a product called Whoop. It helps kind of give you, it's like a secret agent into your body. It helps take the guesswork out of how the more it refines things a little more into how you're actually are sleeping and how you actually are using your energy.
What does it do? Sorry.
So it's like the Apple Watch or the Fitbit, but it's just the next level in that it measures something called your HRV, which is your heart rate variability. And it's really looking at the key missing piece, which is how your body is recovering. Because less is really more here, right? People, because we're so stressed, our cortisol levels tend to be super high as we age. And a lot of people have that midlife weight gain and they think it's your hormones are all whacked and everything, which I'm not a hormone expert. But I will tell you that 9 times out of 10, if you keep to the simple things and really focus on the simple things, moving your body, eating better, sleeping better, things will balance out. And your HRV is part of that picture because it gives you feedback on the kind of the way your body is actually recovering, because recovery is so key important in the whole
recovery piece. And rest, sure. Right? It's so important to rest and sleep
and be grateful.
Yeah, and listen to your body too. I mean, some days I just don't feel like having a hard workout, and I don't, so I just rest or I get a massage. Right? Take care of yourself.
Yeah, the self-care piece. Yeah, it's not all go go go. Yes. It's a much bigger thing.
Thanks.
And don't forget to have fun and play every day.
I feel like going out and going for a jog. And
if you feel like it, go try.
Posture, that was really, I'm actually thinking about that. That's really important because you're hunched up all the time. So that's so important.
Oh, yeah.
So this is wonderful.
I actually have a, on my website, or you can go here, janetomstead.com/healthy habits. Yes. And I have a free course. It's 7 days of healthy habits. It touches on all these easy, simple habits you can incorporate right away. And it's super impactful to realize it's, like I said, more than once, I think. It's not this big mountain to climb. It's small steps consistently, small steps, and keep showing up and be happy to be alive.
Absolutely.
We're lucky.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you where we can find you and what kind of things you have going on. And maybe you can talk a little bit about your book as well. We'll have everything on our show notes so that people can look you up. But maybe you want to talk about your book and any initiatives that you have going on right now.
Yeah. So on janetomstead.com, there are downloadable, you can get the first chapter of my book for free. You can order my book on Amazon. You can order it for me and I'll sign it if you want.
Nice.
The links are all there. Plus the assessment sheets, the personal assessment sheets that are in my book, you can get those there if you want to start trying some of those, your timesheet, your vision, your what showing up as how you like to play as a kid, tap into that. So that's all there at janetomstead.com. And coaching, if you want to book a discovery call, I'd be happy to talk to you. Absolutely. And I put all of this whole idea of the 3 pillars of sustainable health into a program called the Play for Life System. So you can check that out too, theplayforlifesystem.com. So those are 3 pretty groovy ways. And of course, listen to your show. You'll find me right here.
Absolutely.
Power, Purpose, Play.
Yes. I love play and I love talking to you about everything play, and your tips and your story is so incredible. And thank you for sharing all these wonderful, really important, really important aspects of life that we all have to do, whatever age you are, but especially now in midlife, moving forward, we have so much more to look forward to in our life. It's not the end, it's the beginning almost.
Life is just beginning.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And let's get out there and play.
I just loved my conversation with Janet Omstead. I'm sure you'll agree she has such a real fun presence and zest for life and play that we really can all learn from and try to embrace. Here are Janet's key takeaways. Number 1, the keys to sustainable health are nutrition, exercise or play, managing stress, mostly through better sleep, and maintaining that spice in your life. Number 2, being in midlife is the best chapter of our lives, and it's never too late to try something new. Number 3, tap into what you loved to do as a kid. Life is hard right now, and people need joy and fun, and you get that through play. Number 4, functional movements are the things that you do every day, like squats, pushing, pulling, rotation.
We need to keep practicing these 4 movements every day. Number 5, practice the mind-muscle connection. Thinking about the muscles you're using and why you are using them. Number 6, the most overlooked thing is posture. It matters the most because it helps you open your airway and helps you breathe. More circulation also helps your brain. Number 7, change is possible, and life is worth playing for. 8, small changes over time are like compound interest in your investment account. It all adds up. Slow and steady wins the race. Number 9, what is your bare-ass minimum, or your BAM? What is your ta-da moment, not your to-do moment? Number 10, what is your why? Ask yourself 5 times and you'll get to the root cause. When you know that driving force, it makes it so much easier to show up. I thank you again so much for being here, and if you enjoyed this show and learned from it, I'd love you to share, rate, and review. Also check out Janet's website for all her great tips. We can all learn from each other's stories, and that is why I'm here every week to share. We are in a great stage of our lives, so don't forget to get out and play, my friends. Take care.